Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels and welcome back to everything that you missed in UFC this week. Guys, this is of course where we talk about all of the UFC news that came across this week, and I'm gonna keep you up to date in this video. Guys, if you'd like to skip to any part of the video, timestamps are included. Let's get started. So guys, the biggest news of the week is of course the saddest news. The Korean Zombie has retired from the sport after his fight with Max Holloway. It was very sad, and I am still to this day getting TikToks, and of course it keeps coming up my For You page because I keep watching them, but like, I cannot stop watching the Korean Zombie smiling, crying, and walking out of the arena while the entire place was going, in your head, yeah. It was one of the most wholesome moments in UFC history, in my opinion. Honestly, I will never get tired of that, and every single time it comes up to me, I keep liking it. Like, it is one of the best moments of all time. The Korean Zombie, I grew up watching him, man. It's sad to see him retire, but of course, it was time. All good things must come to an end. Building off of that Korean Zombie topic, though, so Paul Felder posted after the Korean Zombie retired that it makes him want to go out and have one more fight in the UFC. As far as I know, he hasn't commented on this after putting out that tweet, but it seems like Paul Felder is interested in having one more fight, which I would love that. Paul Felder is one of my favorite fighters. I always love watching him fight. I love him as a commentator. I just love him as a guy. So if he were to fight, I don't think it's a good idea, but I mean, like, I would cheer for him. I'd be hyped to see Paul Felder back, but, now that we think about it, this would never happen, but, like, Paul Felder versus Conor McGregor, that'd be really fun. They kind of were in the spotlight at the same time. Never gonna happen again, but I was just thinking, like, who could he possibly be matched up with, So guys, this next piece of news is not confirmed, but apparently there have been a lot of reports that the UFC is going to return to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and that is going to be very, very cool if that happens. Very close to where I am at home, so I mean, the UFC comes to Canada every now and then, but it'd be really cool to have it like in specifically Toronto. But take this with a grain of salt. It's just like random reports coming out here and there. Some fighters are talking about they're planning on having a Toronto return. Maybe they're gathering fighters. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for this one. So another week of the Contender series also came to a close, and Dana White only signed 3 fighters this time. He signed Oki, Peterson, and Prats, and all those guys had decent performances. I believe Prats was one of the fighters who actually looked like he was really, really huge UFC caliber. The other 2 that got signed, they had good performances, and I would have, to be honest with you, I would have signed them if I was in Dana's position, but nothing really stuck out from them for me, you know what I mean? But Carlos, man, he looked real good. I really enjoyed watching his performance, and I can't wait to see him fight again. So guys, also this week, there was a leak on Fight Pass, or at least a supposed leak on Fight Pass, that Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor was announced, and there was a date for it, and everybody was like, okay, this is on Fight Pass, this was real, but then Dana White came out and said the fight's not signed yet. So we started off the week with, hey, McGregor versus Chandler is officially announced, but then Dana White said the fight's happening, but that was an AI-generated thing. There was a leak that was going around, and it is not real. So that's a little bit of an update. I don't know what's going on with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. We've seen a lot of videos of Conor McGregor training recently, so that fight's got to be coming soon. Plus, like, December seems the targeted date. It's weird, man. It's just weird what's going on. Speaking of Dana White, though, there has been a little bit of drama between him and Merab Dvalishvili. Now, Merab has been still talking about how he doesn't want a title fight and he wants to hold up the #1 spot. Well, he didn't use the words, I'm going to hold up the #1 spot, but that's what he's doing. He's going to do like the Max Holloway, but not nearly as good. At least Max Holloway's trying to get to a title. This dude's now saying, even though with Aljo talking about maybe he wants to go up to 145, he's still sitting back and is like, okay, I don't want to fight anybody. I mean, I don't want to fight for a title. I'm just going to sit here. I'll fight whoever. I'll sit here. I'll wait for my title shot. I'll give Aljo his opportunity. But the UFC might not even give Aljamain Sterling another opportunity at the belt. They might want Merab to actually go up there. Like, it is so crazy what is going on right now. And different people have been making different YouTube videos talking about this drama specifically. But I'm all on Team UFC for this one, man. I'm all for not fighting your friends, especially like somebody who you have like such a close relationship with. But you can't in Merab just come here and sit like and have the #1 contender spot. You can't just keep beating everyone and then refuse to fight for the title. And still, once the champion loses the belt, he goes, oh, that's not mine. One of you guys have to go into a different division. Like, it's completely understandable that Dana White's frustration with him. I totally get it. And it seems like he's just difficult to deal with in general, but there's some crazy drama going on right now. Dana White went off on him this week. Actually, we have more Dana White news for you next, and he gave an update on Ronda Rousey because there were rumors going around that Ronda Rousey was interested in coming back to the UFC, especially for UFC 300 to have another big fight, and Dana White shut this down right away. He said it's not true. Ronda wants kids. Ronda's married. Ronda's doing her own thing. Ronda wants nothing to do with the fight game. So I don't know if the UFC and Dana White actually had conversations with Ronda Rousey. They must have, but Dana White shut that down really quick and is like, I don't know why people are talking about this. Ronda Rousey is not coming back. So it is official. Ronda Rousey is not coming back to the UFC. Speaking of fighters returning to the cage, though, we have an update on the Stipe Miocic versus Jon Jones fight. There is going to be an official backup fighter, which in my opinion, this is extremely important, especially if you have a Jon Jones fight. This fight is happening in November, and there is still lots of time for Jon Jones to do something that cancels this fight. So a backup fighter is absolutely needed, and Sergei Pavlovich is officially going to be the backup fighter for that fight. And to be honest with you, I like that matchup so much more with Jon Jones. I'm kind of hoping Stipe pulls out now because Stipe is just going to get absolutely steamrolled, but at least we officially have a backup fighter if something were to happen. Honestly, I don't even know who would win that fight, Sergei versus Jones. Like, both those guys would beat Stipe 100,000%, but still, like, very interesting. All right, guys, we've reached the point of the video where I give you all the fight announcements that happened this week, and I just don't know how I just cut my finger, but my finger just got cut somehow. My apologies. I'm getting a little bit distracted on my finger here. But there's only been 3 fight announcements this week. I don't know what's going on. So we have an amazing fight, and I actually put this fight in my UFC matchmaker entry. We have Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig going on November 18th. This is such a good matchup. I don't know what else is going to be on that card, but man, will I be looking forward to that more than every single fighter on the card. I love watching Brendan Allen fight. I love watching Paul Craig fight. I'm very invested in Paul Craig's career coming down to middleweight. This is the perfect matchup. This is going to be a banger. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top of that. But moving on, we have Lupi Godinez taking on Elise Reed on September 16th. Eisman Lucindo is out of that fight. And for the last fight that we have right now, it's just a targeted fight. Nothing's official, but Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira is being targeted for a December card. A lot of people wanted to co-main the Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler card. That's an amazing fight. I'm a big fan of both guys, so at the same time, I don't want to see it happen because then I'd have to cheer against one of them. I like Yuri a little bit more, so I'll have to hope that Yuri wins that fight. But man, Paul Craig versus Brendan Allen, that is an absolute banger. But there's only been a few fight announcements this week. I don't even know what's going on here. That's crazy. But guys, before I get you out of here, there's some fights to watch this weekend. So on Saturday, tomorrow, we have the UFC card starting at noon, I believe. But then after that, we have LFA. Guys, if you do not watch the Legacy Fighting Alliance, it's on Fight Pass. It is such an underrated promotion. It's like watching the Contender Series, man. You get so many of those fighters that come out and make their way into the UFC. Every single UFC card, they have, like, LFA has this thing where it's like, okay, the UFC card, here's the next UFC card, and all these fighters from LFA are fighting on it. You get early access, just like the Contender Series, to all of these fighters that are going to be in the UFC. I love watching LFA, and I love that there are 2 cards that are different on the time. So UFC is early, LFA is late. I love that we have an all-day fight card, guys. This is amazing. It's going to be a great day. I am so excited for it. I'm going to be going over to my dad. It's going to be a great day. But guys, with that being said, that is all of the MMA news I have for you this week. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Thank you so much to everybody who came to the video. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, we have this video every single Friday, so look out for that on the channel. Subscribe if you are new here on the screen right now. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.